And yo, what is up, guys? Here again with our last recorded round of the day. Yeah, so here we are playing against Blue Eyes today, and we do win the roll. But you know what? This is not a very exciting match for me to have to go over. This is played pretty poorly, and just a lot of awkwardness going on here. So we'll just start with the first hand. First hand here was Perulia Droplet Imperm. I believe it was Imperm, and Infantry Teus. So why is this hand so awkward when you're going first? Well, you can't really do anything, you know? So like, it's like, what do you really, like, okay, sure, you can go like Teus Pits Infantry, and then you get Pike, and then Pike discard Perulia, maybe, and then you get what? Like, what from there? Like, you can't really do anything with these card combinations, and that definitely took me back a little bit. It's just like, wow, you know, I haven't actually opened a lot of hands like this, you know, and this was like across the board for the day, where I was really just opening these like really awkward hands of like just kind of unplayable. It's like, you know, I opened 2 engine cards, yet I'm still kind of bricking, and yeah, so I end up just passing play on Impermanent Perulia in hand, and he has the call by for the Perulia, which is unfortunate. Don't know. Yeah, so he's main deck of the call by. So then, yeah, I'm kind of just like, well, I guess we're not surviving. I have Imperm for the Primite, but at this point, he just has he has Blue Eyes cards, and he's just able to come over here and OTK me. So I could have played differently. I could have set the Perulia, maybe set Droplet. I also could have, I guess I also could have gone like Teus, Pitch of Water, Summon, and made Lacia? I don't know what I would really be doing here. Like, there's really nothing. So it's just like, kind of begs the question. It's like, oof. Going and also it's important to note that he did have Impermanent hand, because, you know, every time I, you know, win or lose a game, I kind of want to look back and see, hey, would Deep Sea King have come up here? Like, should I have been playing that? Because if I play Deep Sea King, then Teus can grab Shrine can pitch Teus, Deep Sea King can discard Perulia, then I have Imperm Droplet plus, you know, triple Pike Baby Croc, which is, you know, crazy. But he does have Imperm in his hand as well. So even if I go for that line, it was still getting stopped. And yeah, and at that point I don't have Perulia, so and I guess it would have played out differently, because I would have had a body, and then I could have dropleted, and, you know, would have been, I might have lived another turn, but I would have had no cards at all, and he would have gone all the way. So yeah, tough game one here, and this was like and I think I brick one more time in like my following match, maybe twice. So even if you count Teus Infantry a brick, then by this point I think I bricked a total of 4 times this day, and that was like, ooh, that was hurtful, man. That kind of burnt me a little bit, like burnt me out a little bit, just like what went wrong with the deck building so bad to where you know, you're bricking that much, and I've been playing this deck for so long, with, you know, harsher consistency to non-engine ratios, and yeah, today was just like the worst, the hardest, you know, I had to experience, like just really poor hands back to back to back. So I didn't end up going to a case tourney, and I'm really happy, because this list would not have been it. I had a weird feeling that this wasn't going to be the list, and yeah, I was definitely right. And like, the only couple differences was I did throw in like the Icebreaker cards last second over like Prosperity, and I think another card. Also, I need to do something about this too. I really don't like these. So if you see here, so, and maybe it's just me, but I seem to notice it, where he looks at the top card and he puts it on the bottom of my deck. I don't know if he intentionally looks at the top card, but the way he grabs it, you know, like you can clearly tell that he's able to see the face of the card. And I think I even look back here. Oh no, I think I do the next round. The next round I look, or the next game. Yeah, we do go into game 3. Game 3, I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's Impermanent. It's like, oh, it's just, I should probably play with that and maybe like do like a final cut when I see something like that. It just feels a little off. But yeah, so here we open, looks like Double Ash Droll Infantry, maybe? I think that's what it was. I gotta say, man, I had deep breaths hoping to open a starter of this game. I'm like, I do not want to break back to back. Like, just if I break again, just get me out of the tournament, you know what I mean? So we are lucky enough to open Prince. Now, he does shotgun the infantry when I activate the effect, even though, like, I announce cost. I don't know how often this still happens to you guys, but it's crazy that you announce costs and people still just will just trigger their hand traps before waiting for you to resolve it. Like, you don't want to give your opponent any more information than they already have, because it definitely could have changed my decision tree here, where I might normally want to go for a squad Dragoons play, like squad summon Pike, discard Dragoons. Instead, I'm like kind of recalibrating my thought process and debating on what other cards I might want to see, and yeah, so it could just. That's a little awkward, but yeah, so we do just kind of stop here. I think it is double Astral. Yeah, double Astral Infantry. So we're feeling pretty fine. Multiple Ash Blossoms in this matchup isn't bad. Droll's pretty good here. He starts with the Maiden, and Prince is still on field. So yeah, and then so he ends up discarding the Slayer for the Wishes. We have the Ash Blossom for it, and he just passes right there. So him passing right there is just kind of god tier, because you're able to Prince effect as first action before even doing anything, and you don't need a normal summon or a special, and yeah, pretty wild. So from here, feeling pretty confident. I will say though, this is where like the match starts gets a little ugly. I just made a lot of awkward plays, man. I don't know what I was doing, like watching this match back in particular. I don't know if it was like I was tired, like there were like outside factors like coming in here. Maybe I wasn't focused. Maybe I was just like already burnt by this point. Like, 'cause I think I bricked like 3 times up to now, 2 or 3 times. And so maybe I'm just like not feeling it. But yeah, so obviously the big mistake here I make is, so I definitely have the resources. Yeah, I have Shrine, Sidra. So one big mistake here is I should have grabbed. So I have Shrine. Okay, so let's see. I believe I have at least Shrine and Infantry. I have Shrine and Infantry in my hand. So the fact that I know I have Shrine and Infantry means I can summon Sidra and send a water to continue things. And with that in mind, I should have just searched Prince here off of the. Oh, plus I would get the Dragoon search from the Bahamut. I should have just searched Prince here, and then Minstrel looked at his hand, and then summon back Dragoons, detach for Toad, and then get another body, and then continue to play from there. I don't know why I did that. I think I was just being weird. I wasn't like really thinking through my plays fully. And so what do I do here? Yeah, I send the Minstrel for the Poseidra, and then I trigger the Prince that way, and that's just awkward. So he goes back and he sets a card. That's fine. Obviously, you're gonna want to probably set something. Although at the same time, you might not want to send something, because now you're making the XYZ Sidra live. So maybe you don't do that. But yeah, so we oh yeah, and then we summon back Dragoons. Instead of making just Bahamut right there and just forcing it out, I end up tributing it with Shrine for Ice Jade. And this is just a really bad line of plays. We really want to take what we can from this match. And what we're taking is I'm overextending. For one, I'm using more resources to get to the same outcome than I need to. Like, I could have had a Bahamut about 3 pushes ago. Because you go 1 push back, which is I'm making Trite here to summon my Dragoons. So now I've committed a Trite, and I've committed Shrine, I've committed Sidra, I've committed Prince. I've done all this, and while getting rid of Minstrel, all this before making a Bahamut, when I could have made a Bahamut at the beginning of my turn, without even using Sidra yet. I could have saved Sidra, saved Shrine, saved Trite, and then just go Minstrel. When I would have added Sidra, I added Prince instead. Minstrel, look at the hand, take care of the eventual nib, which I should be respecting, because he has 1 card in hand, and of course the 1 card is the last nib, but is a second nib. But you know what? That's just how it is sometimes. That's the game. I have 2 ashes in my hand, so it's not like it's too shocking to open multiples, as we know. But yeah, so I just played a really bad line here, and while I did know that, so yeah, at this point right here, this is when I'm like, you put yourself in quite the pickle. So I decided to go for the Dweller over the nib, because at this point I'm almost kind of assuming he has the nib, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I have it normal summoned, I have the Divas, the follow-up, and now I have Sidra, so I have protection. And here's where we make another really awkward play. So I end up detaching 2 off the Sidra to spin back his last back row. I think I send Dragoons. It doesn't really do anything. It just kind of generates, I guess, more pressure potentially. Maybe potentially forces out other cards, but it does give the infantry to my hand. So and I believe I have Prince in my hand even right now. Yeah, so I have a lot of cards. I have a lot of like card advantage over him, and the reason I was so what happened here is I'm going for the OTK basically. I decided to get rid of the Sidra, and then just link off into Coral. At first I was thinking, okay, and this is actually I think would have been the correct line. Is I think I could have left the Sidra. I think I could have normal the Diva, or I just go Dweller and Poseidra. I just attack for some life, and then I attempt to pass play. And then when he nibs me, I just build a board. And if he doesn't nib me, then he's on whatever card he set off of the True Light itself, and then a top deck, which I have Prince in hand, I have Infantry in hand, and I have an Ash Blossom, and I have a Droll. So I have plenty of interruption for him, and I knew that, and that's also why I felt comfortable linking off the Poseidra here. Although I should not have done it this way. I also think this was incorrect. I should have held the Poseidra on field. There is no real reason to get rid of it. All the things I'm trying to do right now with the Poseidra, I could have just done by normally my Diva in hand, and then I get to this point where also bothering me is, why could I not just have played around the fact that he might have Nib again and just summon Lancia, which would actually have been effective? Lancia was not effective for me one time this whole entire locals, and I don't even blame the card really. I don't even blame the Lancia engine. I actually just blame the fact that I don't think I built my deck properly around the card when I wanted to utilize it, and I also think that I just wasn't playing my cards correctly. You'll see here, I'm about to summon Lancia, and then I summon Gamir instead, which, you know, Gamir's a lot better when you're pushing into a board. And then the next game, which we will see, where I try to push into a board and I make Lancia, and it's just, what am I doing? So obviously you should just be making Lancia here. It's follow up. When he does nib you, you will get the Trish. And that would have been helpful. And, you know, I could have banished like the Maiden. I could have banished another card from his hand potentially, in which I know he has 2 valuable cards in his hand because he has like the blue eyes card he set plus True Light. Don't know what this is all about. And then at this point, let's see. This actually, wow, this is very poor. Oh man. So I realize here that I actually can't go for lethal, so I have to normal my Diva anyways to finish the game off. But if we look, let's see, what is this? I always forget this card's attack points is. I think it's like 14. It's like 14 or 13. So it's like 36, 40. Oh, how much is this? Is it 14? Because it's 36. Is this 5? No, this was 5, and this would be lethal. How much attack is Minstrel? Oh, whatever. Well, I realized I was 200 off life, so maybe this is 13. And I could have just also made Lancia, and Lancia would have been the damage I needed. So, yeah, this is pretty horrendous. Yeah, so we get nibbed for our lives here. And we're like, yeah, you know, that's fair. Now, oh yeah, because whatever that damage on board was, that was exactly 8k. So if I did just summon Lancia, I just don't have to use a Diva, and I win, and it plays around nib better. And, you know, this is, it happens to the best of us. I don't know what was going through my head during this match. Hurts to watch, that's for sure. But yeah, so he plays, and he, you know, his hand is still bad, and I kind of knew his hand was bad because, you know, in the first turn he obviously, you know, when he Ash impermed to my Prince, you know, he passed play, and then I pass play and I Ash his wishes, and then he just passes back to me. So I knew he was on 1 card hands basically, and I'm sure at the time I remember that he searched his spell. So, you know, obviously we know he is basically on 1 top deck, and I think the top deck just doesn't get him there. Oh right, did he? Yeah, so he top decked the nib, right? I think that's what he did. Top decked another nib. Then he makes Typhon Infantry pop it, and then here I kind of already know what his board is, and so I just go for the token swing. It's AK exact. I'm counting it up right now. And I'm like, yeah, wait, I'm missing something, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Shrine. Count it up. Pretty sure it was lethal. If it wasn't, oops, but I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, so just that wasn't even a good loss, you know. Like it was just that was just poor play on my part, and just tough game to watch back. And I mean, I guess there's a lot to take away from it, but yeah. And so then moving into game 3, I'm trying to remember how this one starts. So going second here, I'm honestly not even too scared about going second. Truly, I am a lot more confident going second. Just with how like this deck plays, you know, it plays off your opponent's having a board, and it plays off of the OTK a lot better than it does playing to try and set up a first first turn board or whatever. And just in terms of like how many like how your engine cards actually start to provide some actual benefit, where Shrine is just becomes the best card in your deck when you are going second, just because Shrine gets you to Sidra. And you know other cards as well, but the way Shrine interacts with your other cards is very strong. I mean, obviously Sidra is like the main piece there, but the utility of Shrine and the searchability of Shrine through like Teus, Pike, and Prince is just really strong. But yeah, so going to game 3, I believe I opened a very a solid hand. I believe it was Ran Double Dragoons Squad Ash. Now, the misplays did not stop, unfortunately. Oh, so it was Shrine. Was that Shrine Squad Dragoons ran? Yeah. So a lot of solid engine cards plus 1 hand trap. Now here's where this was a mistake on my part. I don't know if he did this on purpose, but the way he activated the Sage, he did make it seem like that he was banking on that card resolving. And I just kind of 100% fell for the bait there. So I don't know if he meant to do that on purpose. Can't tell. But yeah, I don't know why I asked that. I don't think it's the same thing with like the Ryziel. And it's honestly, it's probably not. It probably wasn't even him. It's probably more of a me thing where I tend to want to shock especially if I only open 1 hand trap. I tend to just want to shotgun it and put them on better habit, and therefore just kind of like, you know, take the game away. When that's definitely not the way you should be doing it. You should definitely be just holding for those key cards that you do know about, and accepting the fact that okay, he's gonna be able to build some amount of a board. I think I'm just like I'm in a mindset, maybe like just like I'm still stuck in like combo Snake Eyes mindset, where if they build any board, then the board was too much. When I'm like forgetting that, you know, the game has changed, slowed down. Our engine is a lot stronger than the Blue Eyes engine. I have 5, and I will have 5 engine cards in my hand to push through his board. I should be able to do that. And recognizing that Ash Blossom on Wish is here rather than earlier is really just like, it puts him on like, I think Seals, maybe, and then Spirit, and then maybe like a Veiler in hand. And Seal, Spirit, Veiler, plus, you know, that's actually really it. He wouldn't get the trap. Yeah, he has a target protection. Yeah, this is a lot, but I think we can also just kind of deal with it. Like I think it's something. I think it's more likely that I can push through like a Seals, Spirit, Veiler over this. Which, well, actually, let me take that back. So yeah, double Spirit is unfortunate. But there's another unfortunate circumstance that does also arise that makes this game basically unwinnable, and but it's kind of silly. So we go Rand, discard Dragoons here. I think he also has the trap. I could be crazy, but he does have 1 set. I don't know if he just opened it or if he set it, but yes, we go Rand, pitch Dragoons. We only have triggers. We have Shrine Squad, double Dragoons, and Rand. So there's no way I can just like play around the Graveyard Negate. So he's gonna get 1 Graveyard Negate. And then I summon Lancia with the Rand. Now, the reason I summoned Lancia here originally was because I was thinking I can swing over the other Spirit, force it out with the Lancia, and then if he ever wants to like activate the Blue Eyes trap, pop it, whatever, then I at least get the float effect, can force out another Graveyard Negation. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's all fine and good. So, and then I'm thinking I could just play on turn 2, or a main phase 2, and then, you know, try to do something from there. Just like set up a board and just like slow the game down. And while I am not favored to win in the grind game, I think I can like potentially outplay him in a grind game. So that's kind of what we're banking on. And then he Crimson Dragons, and he tags out into this guy. Now, On further inspection, I don't actually know. Oh, that is right. I don't actually know if he can summon this. It says must be synchro summoned and cannot be supposed to summon by other ways. Yeah, that is brutal. I don't think he can actually summon Soft Crimson. I could be. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because I can't believe other Blue Eyes players are not playing this card, because it seems insane. The first time each card you control would be destroyed each turn by battle or card effect is not destroyed. So that's protection for his True Light, his other synchros, his set cards. Crazy. Once returned during other player's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate the effect if you do destroy one card in the field. So every turn, monster, I'm negate, and a pop, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target level 8 lower starters in your graveyard will summon it, whatever. So whatever float effect. Yeah, so that card is absolutely insane. And when he dropped that on me, I wish I read the first line of text. And, you know, I've actually gotten better at reading through cards. Reading through cards I don't understand. I did not think to read for the summoning conditions, though, which I guess is also something I just need to... that's, if anything, if I could take anything away from this match, it's just learning to read the full effect. And including the summoning conditions, that I'm sure this probably comes up all the time where people illegally summon cards. It'll be the same as like summoning Lacia with like Coral and like Shrine or something, where Coral can't be used to summon Lacia because it's not a fish, sea serpent, or aqua. Oh, he has Judgment. So of course he has Judgment, just to follow it up. So he hits. I was in a normal squad there because what I wanted to do was I wanted to try and bait out this negate. So by going normal squad, I could discard the other Dragoons in my hand, and then he potentially would want to negate that. If he doesn't negate it because he's not threatened by, you know, squad and late Lancia becoming level 7, then and he just negates the Dragoon Search, that's also fine, because then we can potentially go through a Shrine. Go through like a Shrine send squad there, or just use the Lancia and the squad to make a rank 7 play of some sort. Oh, and I guess another note to mention on why this Lancia was so poorly positioned here was I also sided out the general going second, so I couldn't even use it as like a body. So really this card was useless to me. In this instance, I made it useless, and then I could have summoned Trish off of it, but then I lose the floating Trish effect. And so yeah, I really put myself in a bad position in multiple directions here. Like it's not like, now I will say that I do think I had a lot more of a chance of winning this if this was just another card, but it wasn't looking good. I was playing this game horribly, and yeah, I mean I was losing to myself here, to be honest. Even outside the fact that I didn't read this card fully. I was losing to myself, and even with this card, I think I tried. No, it wasn't. You couldn't really get close to clearing this thing at this point. I just had used up so many cards. I sent Dragoons with Poseidra, or with Shrine to summon Poseidra. I'm shocked he didn't just negate the Shrine outright. That would have been a fine negate, because I think he can negate from the grave. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so I ended up sending Squad, which I still had not actually triggered yet. So we actually still have quite a few resources to go through. But it's just not going to be enough, because here, yeah, I think it's just everything. I think it's Valor in hand, so yeah, which he did search, so it's normal for him to have that. So Valor's the Sidra, and then he will, in a moment here, I think I add Prince off Dragoons, and then I go, did I not go squad effect, or he must have negated it? And then I think he did negate it, and then he popped the Sidra, and now I just have, and I can't normal the Prince either, so we're just completely out of it. And then by this point, he's just taking the game away. So yeah, really nasty game here. Just poor play on my part. And I'll tell you what, I almost didn't record this. I really did not want to show this match off, but I think it's important to go over your hard losses, and like this whole locals was just a kind of an off day for me in terms of like how my deck was, you know, granting my luck for the day, and then just in terms of how I played. Started off well, but then very quickly just kind of fell into a little bit of a hole there. But you know what? All we can really do is, you know, you do whatever you gotta do to kind of like, you know, get yourself back up and like just start going again, and kind of take, you know, this locals for what it is. But you know, every match is a new match. And yeah, so tough game here. I don't know how long this game actually plays out, but I think what I will do is I am still interested in the Ice Jade Ran and the Ice Barrier cards. And this also did kind of show me flaws I already knew with the deck, but just like it made them very apparent to me in terms of like the deck really only functions with Prince and your like ammunition cards, which are like Squad and Dragoons. So I think putting a harder focus on adding consistency cards that help you get to that is probably ideal, where with just Prince, Squad, and Dragoons, you have 9 starters, and then you can start adding through like Deep Sea Diva, 1 for 1, Small World, Prosperity, Deep Sea Aria. All those cards can add consistency cards. So I think picking an assortment of consistency cards that gets me to like, probably like 13, would be the ideal number of opening one of those starter cards. But yeah, that is the match, guys. Not great. But yeah, so I think our next video, what we'll do here is I'll actually I wasn't gonna do a deck profile for this list. I'm just gonna pull up on DB, and then I think just kind of go over how I might want to change it and how I might go through the deck building process and pick it apart, rebuild it with some more focused on the ice barrier cards, and maybe addressing some of the consistency issues I featured here. Maybe look at playing less non-engine and focusing a little harder on the engine, and because I think the most important thing is your non-engine should be assisting you, should be assisting your win condition, but you should be able to play every game. So like my engine should be able to function every single game. A lot of people lose. A lot of people will lose games back to back strictly off the fact that their deck isn't consistent, it's not built properly, and they're breaking more often than they should be, or losing to one hand trap. And so we want to try and avoid that. And so I think maybe the 15 non-engine isn't completely necessary. There's some key cards that we like that deal with problems that our deck faces. I think we can main non-engine for that. But outside of that, maybe focus a little harder on the engine side of things and make sure that we have like constant playable hands. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here and get it going. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you took something away from this. You cannot summon that Stardust card, I'm pretty sure. Fingers crossed, because if you can, that's like a hidden gem. But yeah, all right, I'll get out of here. Peace.